Just Luke Doors. We're here in the Local 10 Weather Center on our Sunday, our Labor Day weekend. Hopefully you are enjoying a nice weekend. Weather for now is very nice, but we need to keep a close, watchful eye on Irma, of course, and that's what we're here to go through with you. So I want to go through the updates. I want to show you what we know, what we don't know, and what looks to happen as we move forward. So first off, here is the 11 a.m. advisory. Now, this is at 4:23 p.m. where we're recording this. There's going to be a new advisory here before long, but I wanted to go ahead and share this with you nonetheless, so keep that in mind. 11 a.m. advisory. Winds were at 115 miles per hour this morning. That took it back to a Category 3. It's fluctuated in strength a little bit over the past couple of days. Just yesterday it was at a 2. It's still moving west southwest at about 14 miles per hour, just a little bit of a nudge further south now than what it had just yesterday. And again, out in the central Atlantic, it's 2,100 miles away from South Florida at this point. So that's what we have there. Let's go over a couple of highlights here. First off, by late this week, I'm looking possibly around Friday time frame, this does look to be nearing the Bahamas and probably as a strong hurricane. We get past your Friday, and it's going to have a lot of uncertainty with the track. So the impacts right off the bat for South Florida, we can't tell you that right now. Nobody can. That said, we're going to go through some possible scenarios, but at this point, that just is not known. Tomorrow, this is a bit of good news. A NOAA flight is going to go out. It's going to fly around Irma. It's not going to fly through it. That's really going to help our data, and it's going to help us get a better track on this. So, all of that said, let's show you the cone here. This is the latest cone. Again, this will update as we get to 5 o'clock. So, it strengthens to a Category 4 by Tuesday morning in the forecast. So now approaching the Leeward Islands by midweek as a Category 4 hurricane. So the track, you might notice if you've been watching the previous cones, it's just a bit further south than it was previously. And what this will do is now include the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, part of Haiti, and there we are with the Bahamas. Keep in mind this is by Friday, and its strength maintains as a Category 4 hurricane all the way through that. Something else to keep in mind is the distance from here to here, the edge of this cone, that is 422 miles. There's still a lot of uncertainty even there toward the end, exactly where Irma will end up, and that's going to have a lot to say about what happens beyond that. But interest all through here on high alert, as even if you don't get hit by the eye, keep in mind that's what this cone forecast is, where the eye will be. The eye could be here, the hurricane could be that big, and you still get impacts out of that. So that's what we have to keep in mind there. Here are some questions that we have. The uncertainty as we go through past Friday. Again, that's where that forecast cone stops. First off, there's this area of high pressure. We don't know how strong this is or how it will be at that point, and how quickly is that going to want to pull Irma around it. So that's one question mark. Another question mark is this upper level low. How much influence is this going to have? If this is a big, long area of low pressure, that could help push Irma out. If it's weaker and further north, that could say, hey, open door. We just don't know yet how that looks. Here are a couple of our more reliable weather models, the most reliable ones that we have, and now we're going out. I'm showing you the early look. This is a week from today, so keep that in mind. A lot can change, but we don't like what we see here. This is a strong hurricane by next Sunday, according to the European global model, and it's very near South Florida. Let's compare that with the U.S. global model starting on Friday and going through Sunday. And it looks similar. It's still showing a strong hurricane by Sunday morning very near South Florida. Even if we didn't have a landfall, this would have impacts. If that scenario were to play out, we just don't know yet. So again, kind of put it all back together for you. Here are some of the big important points. This is going to be most likely a major hurricane near or over the Leeward Islands. It's also likely to impact Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, Hispaniola, Turks and Caicos, and the Bahamas. It's still too early to know for Florida, but you just saw what we showed with those weather models. That's what we look back here in the weather centers. We go over the forecast. So you've seen what we've seen, and of course it's best to have a plan. So until then, just be ready. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend. And we're going to be bringing you all the latest, including that new 5 o'clock advisory update that's coming up at 5 and 6 this evening. Have a good night.